Hi, this is Felicia from Fresh and Felicia, and Fresh asked us if we could sublimate on a dark t-shirt. So we've got a dark t-shirt and we're going to do an experiment and see how it works. You're going to need some supplies. You're going to need a cutting machine. Here I have the Cricut Maker 3, but you could use any one of the cutting machines from any one of the vendors. You're going to need some glitter iron-on vinyl. It's got some polyester in it. It's going to allow the material to adhere to it. You're going to need a trimmer so that you can trim your vinyl down to size. You're also going to need a weeding tool so that you can pull out the pieces of the vinyl that you're not going to be using. You're going to need some heat transfer tape. You're going to need a pair of scissors as well. Be careful with the Cricut scissors if that's what you're using. They are very sharp and do come with a protective cap. You're also going to need either parchment paper or Teflon sheets. I've got Teflon sheets here. I find that being able to reuse them is very valuable. You're also going to need a heat press mat. You're going to need a sublimation printer as well as sublimation paper. And you're also going to need your dark t-shirt. So the first thing you're going to do is go into Cricut Design Space and grab the image that you're going to use for the design and size it down to the desired measurements that you'd like by either dragging the left and right corners or using the measurements on the toolbar at the top. Once you get it sized down to the way that you want it, you're going to go to the upper right hand corner and select your machine. In my case, I'm using the Maker 3, and then click the green Make It button. From there, you want to make sure that you mirror your image so that when you go to iron it irons on the proper way. And then you're going to click the Continue button in the bottom right corner. And you're also going to want to click the Send to Printer button because this is a print and cut file. And from the print setup screen, you make sure you select the right printer, that you turn Add Bleed off, but that you turn the Use System dialog box on. And then click the Print button. From there, you want to make sure again that you have the right printer selected and click Preferences. And from the page type box, you want to click the Premium Presentation Paper Matte and the quality is high. Click OK, then click Print, and your image is going to be sent to your printer. Once you have your image printed, go ahead and grab your mat, place your image onto the mat, and then load it into your machine. Again, in my case, I'm using the Cricut Maker 3. So back in the Design Space software, you're going to want to be able to tell it what type of materials you're going to be cutting. So if you type in Deluxe, you're going to choose Deluxe paper. I found that this works the best when using the sublimation paper. And then load your mat into the machine between the guides. Once it's done measuring the mat, it will be ready to go, and you will press the flashing Go button, which also looks like a play symbol. So when you do print and cut, the machine is actually using light to read the registration marks on the design so it knows exactly where to cut the image, and that's what you see that it's doing here with that light. Once it finishes scanning it, it's going to go off and cut just the outer edges of the image. Unload your mat, remove your image from the mat itself, and then grab your iron-on material, and you're going to put it on your mat. Trim it down to the right size of the image that you're using your vinyl trimmer. And when you go to put it on your mat, make sure that you put it so that the shiny side is down and the dull side is up. Again, put it on your mat with the shiny side down and the dull side up. So when you go back into Design Space, I actually took and made a copy of the image, and I told it to cut basic instead of doing print and cut, and that's what I've done here. And when I go through the motion of cutting it and removing the vinyl from the mat, okay, so use your weeding tool and weed out the unnecessary pieces of your design. Once you've removed it from the mat, you can move the mat out of the way and grab your shirt as well as your heat press. And you're going to want to turn your heat press on to 400 degrees. While that's heating up, grab your shirt and your lint roller and roll off any lint that you might see on the shirt to clean it off and get the shirt positioned the way you want. And you're going to line up your glitter iron-on vinyl onto the black shirt first. Once you have it placed the way you want it, the spot works for you, grab your Teflon sheet, and once your heat press reaches 400 degrees, go ahead and press for 30 seconds. And when it finishes pressing, make sure to let it cool down slightly before you try to lift off the backing from the vinyl. Once you remove the backing, grab your sublimation shape and lay that over your glitter iron-on in the exact spot that you have for your glitter vinyl, so that you line them up just right. And use your heat resistant tape to tape it down in place so that it doesn't shift when you're pressing it. Grab your Teflon sheet and press for 30 seconds, but apply a little bit of pressure to it. You really want the ink that's in the sublimation sheet to adhere to the material you're ironing onto. So give it a little bit of pressure. I tend to want to run it for 35 to 45 seconds. And then once you remove your Teflon sheet, let it cool down for a minute or so, and then remove the sublimation material and see the output. I did try this with regular plain vinyl, and it does not work this way. Once you remove the Teflon or the sublimation backing, and you've got a finished product. You've got a sublimation image that has been pressed onto a glitter vinyl, and the glitter does shine through, but you've got an image that's now on your dark t-shirt.